Hey guys, today I wanted to go over the new GD03 release we got this morning, which is the level 6 5 cost Freedom Gundam. It's the new LR that they've released. We've seen cards similar with this effect introduced in the game before, but we'll go into a sec as to why this is very different and why I think potentially could be more annoying than a problem. So, starting with other cards similar to this one is the two green commands that we've seen, one from the starter deck 2 and the other from GD02. First, this peaceful team raise. During this battle, your shield area cannot receive battle damage from enemy units that are level 4 or lower. And then the White Wolf from GD02 with command card, which is during this battle, your shield area cards cannot receive damage from enemy units that are level 3 or lower. Now, when they wrote these cards, it's kind of vague with the just receive damage from enemy units. So, in the general ruling, this does incorporate breach, so breach cards can't actually damage enemy shield areas when they play this command. Um, why do I think this new Freedom Gunner is potentially good or more likely annoying? Is with this effect is while this unit is rested, friendly shields cannot receive battle damage from enemy units. So first off the gate, breach will be able to get around this effect. You could potentially swing at another unit with a breach effect and then still get that shield card out of their way. But why this is annoying is the fact that it's white, and white, plays all the blockers. It has all the blockers, so you could just build a wall around this thing and protect it in case you're playing a deck that doesn't have breach or has other ways to deal with it, which will go into what kind of each color kind of has to either outright kill this thing or get around it and being able to deal with it without actually swinging into it. Uh, and then just I have this Kigali here because what you could potentially do with this unit is leave it active and just put Kigali under it. And if your enemy if your opponent tries to swing, then you just block with it. Potentially being a 5/6, you withhold a lot of damage, and then that way you blocked, potentially killed the card that they were swinging with, and then now they can't damage your shield cards without taking this card out. So white is actually the very few archetypes that doesn't really have anything to deal with it. Obviously, with it having 5 HP, you can just witch in the bride it, just put it back to your opponent's hand, and that way it's out of the way for one turn. And they have to replay the cost if they want to play it next turn. And then again, the Gundam aerial rebuild high maneuver. High maneuver here, you'll see this card like this effect a lot. Uh, if they try to build a wall around it with blockers, you just high maneuver it, just take it out. You'll have to end up potentially trading with it, but that's pretty much what white can only do is either witch in the bride it or just high maneuver and get it out of the way. Again, green also has access to high maneuver. I put the red Gundam, but any of the Charzaka 2s and anything linked with Char can get high maneuver as well. And this is clan with during link against high maneuver. The Wing Gundam, the Wing Zero also has high maneuver. It doesn't burn the Freedom Gundam that they're that's shown there because it is a level 6, but still having high maneuver, they can get it out of the way. And then, like I said, the keyword there, it says can't receive battle damage. So breach technically isn't battle damage. So you could use breach units to kind of get around it and swing at your opponent's other units and still damaging shield at the same time. Blue surprisingly does have a good amount of ways to get around it. Again, breach, with the Psycho Gundam, and I think there's another GD03 card they're introducing for blue that has breach, and then your gun tanks, Anshas. This command card, Signs of Revolution, that deals battle damage to one rested enemy unit, and most likely than not, that card will be rested if they want to use it to its greatest effect. And then also I included the G Fighter just because those 1-year war decks, you could include this in here and give either your gun tank or your Amuro, most likely your Gundam high maneuver and be able to clear that card out of the way. And then red has the most ways to get around it. You have pilots that ping units on pair, on link, and then while attacking. You have your close combats, your battle of aces, and your other command cards that just outright ping units. And then, this Aegis Gundam, if it's linked, can swing and deal 3 damage to it. So I feel like red has the most potential just to get around the card without actually having to swing into it and swinging into other units. So do I think this card is good? I don't think it's that good. I think it's more annoying than anything. What your opponent is essentially trying to do is either stall you in your tracks if you don't have a way currently in your hand or on board to get around it, or just essentially, swing as many times as you can into this unit to get out of the way, so then you can start attacking shields and then potentially win the game that way. I don't like that it's in white. I think that's my verdict right there. Is I don't like that this card is included in white with the easy access to all these low level blockers. It kind of just potentially could just drag out games as much as they are now when you play a deck that is playing white with all those blockers. I definitely think this may push red to be more favorable, but overall, I don't think this card is game breaking. But I don't like the direction of introducing cards that kind of stall out the games even longer than they have to be. Especially like when you go to regionals or like that, and your top eights or whatever. Once you get into best of three, this really can just crunch the time and just make games super long than they have to be. I'm intrigued to see what else is introduced in GDO3. I'm hoping there's a lot more cards introduced to other colors that can potentially have these other effects like breach, high maneuver, or just pinging rested units or just pinging units in general to kind of help making get rid of this pretty easy. But that's pretty much all I had today. It's a very interesting release, card reveal we got today, and I just hope that with the release of the other cards, this card doesn't seem as strong as it does right now. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more Gundam card game content. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this card. I would have preferred to be any color. I think that's I'll keep repeating that. I just as a red white player myself, I don't think white needed anything near this kind of sort of card of just delaying game or just refocusing where your attacks can go, especially when we got the Argama in the white too that negates breach. So you play this and then you play the base of Argama, like it just turns into a nightmare scenario. All right, well, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and excited for more GDO3 releases.